Hi, good evening, folks.
Good evening,
Hi.
Paul. Good evening, folks.
Evening, Bobby. I hope you're
Yes,
well.
I'm fine, mate. Can somebody just give us the okay that the volumes are right? Because last week we were at different volumes. And if I can just ask Rach if you can jump into mine and mod for me, please, darling, that would be
Now,
great.
have you got anybody in yours, Bobby?
Yes, I've got the real Your Nightmare.
Right.
It's a dodgy Dave. Good to see you, Dave, lad.
Okay, it's just that. All right. Yeah, I can see now. Yeah.
So,
Hi, everybody.
yes. So I hope everybody's well and they've had a great week. And what do you think of the sunshine at the weekend, Paul? We had the warmest day so far.
It was a bit hot, wasn't it? Just a bit.
It was a bit, wasn't it? Was it
Yeah.
Thursday or Wednesday? I can't remember what day it was. But apparently we'd got the hottest day this year.
Yeah.
So
I think that was Thursday. I think I'm not
it was
quite sure.
Thursday, and then Friday we got rain come dinner time round our way. I don't know what you had. Not much, but it was still warm though. We had it warm through night.
We haven't had any rain, I don't think.
Have
But
you not?
saying that, because I'm a troglodyte, so I don't go out. So I don't know.
Troglodyte.
The only time the only time I know it's been raining is when my windows are wet. Unless of course some gadgets come up to wash my windows. But
yes, it has been grand, real nightmare. It has been grand.
Yeah.
Evening, Tommy Mac.
Sorry.
Calling us gentlemen.
Wow. Oh, well, there you go. We've been called loads of things, but
yes, and it's nice that it comes round.
It does.
Thanks. Your real nightmares told us we sound fine, so we're on a good one. Now then, I was talking to Paul about 5-10 minutes ago. I jumped on and I had a chat, and he said he saw one of my videos, that paranormal. I don't know if anybody's seen it. If you want to check out my videos, I had a chat with a couple of people about paranormal experiences and that TV program. What's it called? Most Haunted, whether it's fake or not. And Paul told me a little story, hope you don't mind.
Oh, no.
Going through it again. But about his mother, which I didn't know, and I thought it was very interesting. Because I believe you're a non-believer, aren't you, Paul?
I don't believe in all this, ghosty things,
right.
throw cups and saucers and shite like that at you.
Right.
You know what I mean? I'm not into that. But my mum was, and I don't, it's not a clairvoyant, but she used to read people's cards and tea leaves and, all that type of things. And people came from all over the country for, for this hour's session with me, my mother reading these things for her. So, of course, I'd grown up with it all. So sometimes I'd believe what she was saying, and then sometimes I'd say, "Oh yeah, I heard that one last week." You know what I mean? But what convinced me more than anything was when I was in the forces and I used to come home on leave, knowing where I was going when I went back, knowing where I was going to be going, I didn't have to tell her because she told me. She knew exactly what I was going to be doing and where I was going and, all that type of things. And then, if I brought a young lady home at any time, she'd take me aside later on and say, she's not the one for you. And I always thought to myself, well, all mothers say that. They all say, well, you can get better than that, son. Or she's not your type, or, all that kind of stuff. Yeah. However, I can honestly say it, on every one she picked out, she was 100% true.
Right. That's a nightmare from hell, isn't it? Your mother knows everything.
Well, yeah.
As a kid, you don't want your mother knowing everything, do you?
I don't know if she knew everything, but she certainly she knew what I was going to be doing and what I wasn't going to be doing.
And it's more, it's more likely to be true that they can read minds, or not read minds, but read futures. That's it.
Yeah,
in them days,
I was dubious, and
sometimes
I was well believed, and sometimes I didn't.
you didn't have the communication you've got now. You know, the information you've got now. So, you know, it was more difficult for them to work it out if they weren't for real. So, you know, more than likely, I think they probably were.
Yeah. So
Sharon's, let's just have a quick catch up with chat. GRJ, how we doing, mate? We're both doing really well. Sharon, can't stay on. It's John's birthday. That's a good man. And house crazy today. People popping in and out. Just wanted to say hello. Say hello to John from it. John's not well, her husband. Look, read anything out, Paul?
Hoggy boy. Yeah. You don't believe in any of that stuff. Well, you know, I take it and leave it. It's one of those. Like I say, in my youth, I used to take the mickey out my mum because sometimes I'd sit in while she's telling people their fortune or whatever you want to call it. And, you know, afterwards I'd say, well, you said that last week to that other woman. But when you think about it, lots of things will be said the same.
Yeah.
Maybe a different way, but same type of thing. You know, you'll meet a tall, dark, handsome man in the back alley and regret it. You know, those type of things.
Well,
but yeah,
your real nightmares just put. My mum would tell me who was going to die next, and was right. Bloody hell! She was a cheerful bugger, wasn't she?
I tell you what, if my mum could tell me who was going to die next, and it was probably one of us.
Oh, hey, I know where you're coming from. My mother threatened her many a time.
Anyway, just as a did anybody come on to the stream as we fired up and saw the beginning? You know, did you see the intro? Did you watch the intro, Bobby?
Yes, I did. And
okay.
What Paul had done is a series of photographs. You know, very, very nice photographs. They were,
yeah.
And I presume they're a certain part of the country, all near each other. Is that right?
They're all the same place.
Right. So, well, let you explain then.
Well, the pictures explain it. It's all one place in this country. And what you needed to do was tell me where it is and tell me what it was known for. So if you haven't seen it, it's I can put it back up.
Yeah, well, let's see what happens and maybe run through it again if nobody gets it. Now that picture behind you. No, I know you sat up beach, but I mean other picture
above me. Yeah.
Right. I think most people will get that, won't they?
Hopefully, yeah, because the only thing that puts you off is seeing the train going across the top, because you don't often see a train going across that bridge.
No.
And that's why I put the picture up, because it's the first picture I've seen of that place where the train goes across. But it's in Yorkshire again.
Very scenic.
It's a very nice place, and it's Knaresborough.
That's right.
And you know, Knaresborough's famous for Old Mother Shipton's cave. And you know, I was trying to think what the word was, because what happens in this cave, if you've never been, is they hang up things in this cage, not people, you know, teddy bears and
little trinkets, don't they?
Trinkets and stuff like that. And they turn to stone. And there's a word they use, and I can't remember what the word is. But somebody will probably come up in the chat with the name for it.
Yes.
It's one of them. It's one of them long names, you know, like agriculture. That's a long word, isn't it?
I don't think it's that though. No, I remember, you know, going to see Mother Shipton's cave as a kid, being from Yorkshire, not far. Probably Knaresborough's probably, let me think now, about 40 minutes away from me, maybe less than an hour. And I first went with school, and it scared the devil out of me. because they told us the history of who Mother Shipton was, who she married. She married a guy called Shipton, and in this cave, it's damp, it's wet, and it's eerie when you're in there. It's a bit spooky. Anyway, and if you ever go, I think it costs about £10 to go see now. When I was a kid, it didn't cost anything. And when you go in, you'll get a tour guide. There's, I can't remember if there's a little stream at the side of it, or can you remember, Paul?
It's a river.
Yeah, but it's only small. It's on trickling side of it somehow.
Oh no, there's one inside where there's a cave inside the cave.
Right.
If you know what I mean. It's a place where people lived.
Yes, it's quite a big. It's worth a look round. Anyway,
it is nice.
The legend goes, I won't call it a myth because it's apparently true. This Mother Shipton used to live there, and she was a bit of a, what's the opposite to a wizard? Not quite a witch, but she was a strange person who could have these. She had these magic. She was able to do things that most people couldn't. Anyway, one of them was the story of things being turned to stone. That she
petrifying. Petrifying, that's the word.
Petrifying.
Yeah.
And she was involved in that. Now, because of that legend, people used to take trinkets and teddy bears and everything, and they was allowed to hang them up. Anyway, with the water dripping in the caves, they'd go hard because of the cold, and people believed that it was stone. But originally, back in the day, I don't know if they actually did turn to stone by petrification, if you like.
Well, it is. What it is the water that comes down, drips down from the up there, from the roofy thing.
Roofy.
The roofy thing that's in the cave.
Top of the cave.
Yeah, the top of the cave thing. Well, when water drips down, and it's been dripping down for hundreds of thousands of years and all that kind of stuff, you get stalactites, which is the water drips and it's dripping through the stone above, and it could be limestone, it could be chalk. That's right. I don't know, and it makes a stalagmite. Well, that's what used to happen to these things to petrify them, because it is stone basically.
It's like a powdered stone that sets on it.
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
But it's created a myth. Well, I won't say myth. I'll say it's created this legend that she was involved with it because she was a strange woman. Now I hope it don't put people off, because still now school parties go to see that. I mean, I believe I haven't been for a long time, but I believe inside they've got it lit up now. They've got all fancy different coloured lights, and you can actually see more than when I saw when I was a kid. It wasn't as dark and miserable as when I was a kid. But Knaresborough itself is a beautiful little place. It's as you can see the river there. You can spend the day at Knaresborough, and as I said to Paul, you don't have to spend a lot. Okay, the cafes, etc., the ice cream vans and that, they're quite expensive. But if you wanted a day out, it's not expensive. That's why my mum and dad used to take us. And you can get one of those little boats you see there, and mosey down the river. It's a beautiful scenic place, isn't it, Paul?
It is. It's really nice. Knaresborough is really, really nice. I don't wear bow ties on Mondays, by the way. So
it's his day off.
I don't wear bow ties on Mondays. I only wear bow ties on Sundays and days when it's to do with Chegg. So that's why I haven't got a bow tie on. So let me just have a quick look through. And what's that one? Big Beard. Hi. You're not late. There's plenty of time. We're early doors. We've only just started, I think. But knowing me, it's probably been about 3/4 of an hour, because time just seems to fly by on a Monday night.
It does, doesn't it?
Whizzes by, yeah.
It does.
But,
it's a great hour. I love it, this hour, because it's turned into. I mean, you know, when I don't know if it was Paul or me, we said we decided to do this. We mentioned it, and they said, yeah, why don't we ever go see what happens? And we said, oh, we can talk about anything and everything, and then automatically, because we've got this in common, you know, traditions, history, Yorkshire, you know, the past, nostalgia, obviously part of our lives. So that comes up. Now, what I like now is that the chat's involved. We do come on, and I'd say a fair bit to our Paul. We dedicate to the chat and listen to what they've got to say out, don't we?
Well, we do, yeah. And I think we've said it before, Bobby, or we might have said it every week, I don't know. But I think we've said it before. We don't script anything. We don't talk beforehand, deciding what we're going to talk about and all that. We go by what people put. So if people put something in the comments, we react to it. Now, people know I can react. I'm like a time bomb sometimes. But I promised Bobby tonight I'm not going to react. I'm not going to swear, and I'm not going to lose my rag.
I'm going to tell him, Paul. I'm going to tell him. I was on 30 seconds and he did 2 Fs and 1 B.
Yeah, but I was shouting at the TV. It's that Peter Levy. He just does me head in.
Does he?
Yeah.
He's on BBC, isn't he?
He is, yeah. What a waste of space that man is. But there you go. I can see in the chat it says, do I like cravats? I do like cravats. I think I've got a couple, but...
he's a Bobby Dazzler. I've seen him dressed up. He had... That day I saw him, he had suit on with the military crest, and then he had a nice smart tie, and he had a scarf. And I thought he was too dressed up with a spoon. So when I saw him, I thought, well, I don't know that. Is that manager?
I didn't have my medal on though, did I?
No,
I could have walked round and had the begging bowl out.
Now then, somebody said it, chat. Oh, there, look. Char Dickinson, how you doing? You're looking rough, Bobby, I must say, old lad. Yeah, I am. I'm decided to grow a little bit of a beard and see what it looks like. And I've trimmed it. So I'm just going to see if it suits me. And, you know, my wife will start thinking she's got another man then, you know.
Right.
Anyway, do you remember learning about stalactites and stalagmites? Which go up, which go down?
Well, tights come down and mites go up.
Nights.
No, they're not. The stalactites and stalagmites.
Yeah, but we used to say at school, how do you remember?
I've just told you.
So
tights will come down.
It's rude, but you said tights come down and nights go up.
That's it. Well,
anyway,
we're just
you were right. You were right.
We say stalagmite, but if it's stalagmite, there you go. It's the same thing. It ends up the same, doesn't it? The story ends up the same. If you see what I mean.
Yes. Char Dickinson, the video is back up. It came down, it went back up, and I don't know what happened there. Anyway, someone's saying, I was in York, Nightmare Mate, on the Shambles Market. Now, that's another street with a lot of history, isn't it? Shambles. He's not listening.
Yeah, well, I am actually, but yeah, it is. Nice place, Shambles.
It's actually some of them, but never mind them beggars, Paul.
I'm not minding them at all, Bobby. I'm looking at my chat.
Yeah. I'm doing it now. Look, listen. I know that Shambles. There's
Shambles,
a lot of history with that.
Well, yeah, it goes a long way back, doesn't it? That's the thing.
And it leans forward as the buildings, they lean forward, don't they? And apparently, a couple of those buildings opposite each other, you can actually reach out the window and shake hands with one across.
And I seem to recall that one of them was a butcher.
Yes.
And I'm trying to remember when last time I was there what the other one was, but one was a butcher.
I like when I've been to York many times because it's 30 minutes away, and if we decide to go out for a day, it's on the list because you know if you think of the places to go, because it's a beautiful city. It's a beautiful city, and I love it when you're walking through city centre and you turn a corner and you see Minster. It's just there in the middle of the centre.
Yeah.
And it's like, wow. And I remember, you know, when I was about 11 years old, this got my interest. This is the building that got my interest going. And I looked up and I kept looking up. And at the top I saw, you know, 6 foot wide by 6 foot deep. And they were probably squared pieces of stone. Now, I thought, how the hell did they get them up there when they built it? So I looked into it. And, you know, it could take hundreds of years to build a building like that. It can take literally up to 200 years to build a building like that. And they didn't value life like we did. So if a stonemason or a builder or not brickies then, but whatever they were, masons, if they died on the job, fell off, they just get somebody else in. But it could take up to 200 years to build a church like that, a structure like that. He's not listening. Look, he's on patrol, is Paul.
No, I'm listening to you, Bobby. You know, I was quite interested in what you were saying there.
No. Yeah, that kicked in my interest. Now, my lad says I'm a bit sad because when I go to places like Bradford, Leeds, local places, and in the town centres, I look up. I always look up. Why? Because I love the architecture, and most of it has stayed is the stuff at the top. You know, you'll even get buildings with gargoyles on in middle of Leeds, and you'll see this in Manchester. I'm sure you see it in Scarborough and Brid, and everywhere. At the tops of the buildings, they do tend to keep them restored, and they use the bottoms as shops, etc., whatever. You know.
Yeah, there's lots of gargoyles around Yorkshire. Huggins of them.
And he's not just talking about women.
No, I'm not.
Hey, I shouldn't have said that. I'll get my ass kicked if I say that.
Excuse me, was that a swear word just come out of your mouth?
Yes, I never swear on you on a Monday night because I'm influenced.
Well, there you go then. I'll have to get the box over to you for you to fill.
We're not, I notice you're looking at chat. We're not going to see the naughty bat, are we?
No, because I'm not looking at your chat. I'm looking at my chat. My chat.
Oh, mine's okay. I mean,
no, yours is shit, mate. But there you go. You keep it to yourself.
All right. Well, anyway, I don't read it. I've got a couple of great mods in, and I leave that to them. Yeah. And I read them, but I read comments that's put after. I like them to have their own little chat and get on with it. And I know my mods will keep their eye on them. Anyway, so we've got the Olympics coming up. Are you interested in the Olympics, Paul?
I am. It's sport, isn't it? I shall watch it. I'm not going because they haven't chosen me.
Where is it? I'm trying to think where
Paris. It's in France. The city of love, Paris.
Oof, the city of expense. You know, that's the most expensive city in the world is Paris. It's been proven. Yes. Very expensive.
Yeah, well, I presume, I don't know. London's bloody expensive, isn't it?
Yeah, but they say Paris is absolutely ridiculous. Yeah, because it's got this stigma of being about like you said, the city of love. You know, I've never. Have you ever been?
Yeah.
I've never been.
Yeah, I have.
You seen the Eiffel Tower and that?
I have. Yeah, I've been up it as well.
Have you?
I have. Yeah.
Yeah, I've been up Blackpool Tower. That's nearest.
Yeah, it's nice up there. They've changed that, haven't they, apparently? Haven't they put in one of them glass walkways round the top, you know, where you look...
Oh, at Blackpool?
Yeah.
Apparently they have, yeah.
On it and look down and it looks as though you're floating.
Yeah. I haven't been for a long time neither. Tower Rooms at Blackpool. Because that's underneath it. That's at the bottom.
That's underneath.
And I remember going there as a kid, and they had a zoo in there.
Yeah, I've never been to underneath. I've been up Blackpool Tower, but I've never been in the
Tower Rooms, ballroom. They've got that big ballroom where they do Strictly Come Dancing final, And they used to do, when I was a kid, they used to have a zoo in there. I don't know if they still have, if they're allowed to do it, but they had a zoo inside. Yeah, but things have changed, and
they have,
you know.
Yeah. Well, everything changes, doesn't it?
Yeah,
they won't be able to have a zoo because it'll be against health and bloody safety.
That's right. I should have put the light on. I'll put it on now. That's better, isn't it?
I don't know what's happened. Oh yeah, I can see you now.
Yeah.
Is that the sun shining on your face?
I've put the light on.
Oh, right.
It makes it look like it.
Have you put big light on?
No, not big light.
It's just little light.
We can't afford big light.
No, I don't.
Only time big light's on is when it's bedtime.
Oh wow! There you go.
Right, Bobby, she used to say. My dad used to say, "Right, Bobby," and he used to say to my sister as well, "Right, but come on, I've let you stay up till the closing. Stand up, listen to this, and get yourself upstairs." You know what they were listening to, don't you? National anthem.
Aye.
You remember them days, Paul?
Waiting for that little spot to disappear.
Yeah.
Before you were allowed to sit down.
That's right.
Oh, yeah.
Remember the days? You sound out of breath a little bit today. Have you had a rough day?
No, not really. Not really. No, I haven't had a rough day at all. It's been okay. It's been like every other day, I suppose. Because they're all basically the same, aren't they? When you're past it, and what is the word? A pensioner.
Yeah.
Every day is the same.
Well, everybody usually has some form of hobby, and I know yours is you like to use the internet and get information off there and do things off there. And that's not a physical interest, is it? So
no, you know. I've got mine's genealogy. That's what mine is.
Yes.
You know,
yes.
I used to spend every day doing it, but I don't now because I have other things to do, people to see, places to go, you know, those type of things that take up my time a little bit more.
Yes. Yeah. That's it. I just go out once a week with lads, and that's it. That's my night.
You lying bugger. How can you sit there and lie like that? And I've just swore, I think.
Well, I do.
Well, you went out to Wetherspoons the other morning.
Oh, that's it.
That's out.
You know, Do you know why I go to Wetherspoons?
It's not an out. It's an out, isn't it?
No, but let me tell the story about me going to Wetherspoons. If I go to Wetherspoons through there, it's to get out the road, because we have a cleaning day on a Friday. So we do a cleaning day, but just lately she's had her mother over, and the mother comes over and she gets involved with cleaning, and I says, I'm off. I can't cope. Can't do with two of them. So I go and get to Wetherspoons. I'll be to something to eat and catch up with a few mates if they're there. I don't drink, and I just have a breakfast, and then I come back when it's safe.
Have you got something wrong with your camera, Bobby?
Well,
you keep going out of focus and back in, and
well, let's have a look. That's because I'm wandering off here.
No, you just keep going out of focus every so often.
Let's see what that's like. Oh, I've got a few different lights.
Get in. I like that bit of blue there. Yeah, you see, I think it must be if you lean back, you go out of focus a bit.
Yeah, I think it's because I've got that blur behind me. You see, it's free focusing blur. You know more than me, Paul.
Blur. Blur. I used to like them.
Well, he was a Yorkshire lad, lead singer of them. I don't know if they all were, but he was from Sheffield.
Shall I just play
not Blur. Sorry, go on.
No, go on.
Blur. I'm thinking of another group, not Blur. Okay. They were from Yorkshire.
Shall we just run the intro again, just so that people can see the photograph and see if they can answer the question? Okay.
Right. Just give them a bit of a what you want them to do, Paul.
Just watch the screen, basically.
And tell us what.
It'll ask you on the screen.
Right.
when you watch the screen, I'll see if I can fast forward it to where the bits come up rather than watching the whole 2 minutes. Okay. I've got to find it now. Yeah, so this is the opening, the 2 minutes before we actually go live, and unfortunately I can't forward this a minute, but to a little bit later on here will come up some photographs of a place in the UK, and what I'm looking for is the name of the place and what it was known for. And there's about 6 photographs. We're nearly there. Bear with me. Oh, it sounds like that thing on TV. Bear with me. Bear with me. I'm hoping you can hear me because I'm talking away. So there you go. This week's quiz. That's all one place, by the way. All the pictures you're seeing are one place. There you go, then.
Now then.
There you go.
That's,
so,
I don't know where that is.
Don't you?
Don't. Not off the top of my head.
No, you will do. In a minute, sure.
Very beautiful buildings. And is it something to do with the buildings more than anything?
The place.
Yeah, no, but I mean, is it famous for something?
Yeah. That's why I said, where is it?
I know the chessboard and that.
What's it known for? That's the thing. Right. And there is a clue. If you watch the pictures, there was a clue right at the end. Okay. Again, your camera's going a little bit iffy, Bobby. I don't know.
I'll lean forward a bit, see if it's.
I've tried to make it hard this time because the last 2 times I put it up, somebody come straight in and said, "Oh, that's so and so." So I thought I'd just try and give it. It's in this country, by the way, even though it looks Italian-ish. It's in this country.
Yeah, it does look. First thing I thought, Paul, was I'm going to ask if it's in this country because that looks either Italian or French. It looks, you know. But are we talking north? They want a clue. Are we talking north or south?
South of what?
England.
South of England.
UK.
No, there is in this. Oh, south of England.
Is it in the south of England or north of England?
Neither.
Oh, it's Midlands. Right then. Yeah. Does that help anybody?
No, it doesn't seem to be looking, does it? Nobody said Hoggy Boy. It does look nice, doesn't it?
It does.
It's and you know, you'll say, "Oh wow, yeah, oh Howler." There you go. He's got it.
Port Merion.
Now
then, Port Merion.
He's put Port Merion, but it's all one word. Is Port Merion.
Right, and where's Port Merion?
In Wales.
Wales. Oh, so neither. I said Midlands, north or south. It wasn't even in England, was it?
No, I didn't say it was in England. I said it was in this country.
Yeah, it isn't in this country.
It is.
It's
We're
not.
part of the UK.
It's in the UK. England's a country. Scotland's a country. Wales a country.
Well, all right. Somebody's up in Scotland now and thinking, "Oh yeah, it's in Scotland." Because
we're going to have an argument here, aren't we? There's 4 countries involved in UK.
I presume that.
Oh, I've You know, I was going to ask you that program, Prisoner. Is that where it was filmed?
Yeah. And if you watch the clues, the clue was in the number 6 because that was the what do you call them bicycles? Big wheel and little wheel.
Penny farthing.
Penny farthing. It's a penny farthing with a 6 in it. That was the thing for it.
Right. Well, it did enter my head that, but I couldn't think of the name of the program, Prisoner, because it wasn't the type of program I'd watch because it was a little bit weird, wasn't it?
It was weird, yeah. Patrick McGowan.
It wasn't my kind of thing, that.
It was that big white ball used to chase him along the beach.
That's right.
The bit I can remember. And then because he could never escape, could he?
No. Well, was that in 60s, 70s?
I think it was in the 60s.
Yeah.
I think that was in the 60s. So I don't really know when it was, but I can remember it, and I can remember Patrick McGowan running. I can remember him running along that beach, and that big white ball used to running after him, or not running, but rolling after him, and then it would get him and.
Mind you, in the 60s, I was a kid, you see, so I wouldn't have been.
Well, I was.
I wouldn't have been old enough. No, I wouldn't have been old enough to watch it. My mum wouldn't have let me watch that because it's just such an age. She said it had messed my head up. It was funny with mother that way.
Right. Oh well, it was. I enjoyed it. It was a nice.
Trying to the 60s, trying to escape the ball. I couldn't tell you about all I've ever seen of that is clips. And when I've watched, I thought this is weird. He's wandering around a place that looks like there's nobody there. And he's being chased by a big ball on the beach. And I'm thinking, what the bloody hell's this? But apparently it was popular, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was. But it had to be, didn't it, in the 60s? Because they want a lot of channels.
No. They want other. They want, mind you, you'd got BBC One and BBC Two and ITV, didn't you?
I can't remember dates, but I can't remember when BBC Two started.
Channel 4 come along in the 80s, which is, 2 decades later.
Yeah. BBC Two was a long time after BBC One.
Yes.
A long time.
Yeah, it was. And they had more. It started off with like open university stuff, and into it all.
Because that's what they used to use the second channel for was. And schools used to use, when you went to school, you used to see the teachers' programs. Did you watch them at school?
Oh yes. Open university and all that, and there were always oddball. There were always oddball teachers, weren't there, on these programs?
Yeah, but there was at schools they used to have school channel basically.
Yeah.
I don't know if it was called the school channel, but the stuff you watched at school when I was young was BBC Two. They used to flash it out during the day because, of course, the BBC didn't believe that anybody was at home during the day. They all thought we were either out at work or at school.
Yeah.
They didn't realise that people were still at home.
Well, back in that day, it were mainly women who were at home anyway, housewives. And maybe, the odd milkman or coal man or bin man who finished work early and started early, but someone's asking it, did anybody get that place? And they didn't have TV wanting demand though as well, Paul.
No,
my mother would not put the TV on unless there were a program on. If she wanted to watch something, it were at 8 o'clock. The telly didn't go on till 8 o'clock, and he finished at 9. It went off. That's how I grew up. It wasn't just left there in the background. There was no way that my mother would do that. And telly didn't really start until like 4 o'clock in the afternoon.
Foggy Boy. Yes, somebody did get the answer. The answer was Port Merion in Wales, and it was known back in the day as there was a program called The Prisoner, and that was where it was all filmed. On there. Okay. So if you have access to the internet, I think there's some of the episode. Well, I'm not thinking there will be. There'll be some episodes on YouTube of
Yeah.
The Prisoner.
Oh, you
Patrick
better get it.
McGowan was in it, and it was quite good. I quite enjoyed it.
Yes, Owl Ahead. Richard Whiteley was the first face on Channel 4, just a useless fact. And I remember it starting that day, and the first program was Countdown, and that was when Channel 4 started in, I think it's something like 1984. But we're going back further than that at the moment. We'd tell it'd start at 4 and finish at 11, and it'd end with national anthem. You stand up for Queen. That was tradition in our house. But you wouldn't get up for work and put the TV on. There was nothing there to see. You'd put the radio on when you got out of bed before work.
Yeah, you did. Yeah,
it's a different world altogether.
Yeah. You see, people leave the telly on now and don't bother looking. It's just there in the background. Whereas when we were young, it was the radio that was on.
That's right.
In the background. You didn't have, well, the telly took about 3.5 hours to warm up.
Yeah.
But I can remember when because the telly used to finish about 10:30 at night, or it was fairly early at night when the Queen came on.
Yes.
But when it got late, it was because of these people flying to the moon. That's when we got the late programs.
They made an exception for them, didn't they?
Yeah, because they were showing live. Well, they said it was live. I don't know.
Satellite, wasn't it? It was terrible quality.
It was evil quality, but you still sat there and were glued to the picture, watching them up in space and whatever they're doing.
They did the same and all, Paul, with football. That's how there's video of 1966 World Cup, because it were put out live. You know, it were, everybody could watch it, but the quality was terrible, wasn't it?
Well, nobody could watch it really in the '66 because no bugger had TVs.
Well, no, I remember. I wasn't old enough to acknowledge it, to appreciate it. I was only a young man, and my father told me we were in an holiday camp at Coast, Butlins or somewhere, and there he said they had a little shed there with a little TV in. He says, and we all crowded around this little shed.
Yeah.
He says, I heard it, but I didn't see it.
Yeah. Well, I listened to it on the radio, but funnily enough, I don't know if I said it the other week, but I watched the whole match a couple of weeks ago on Channel 4 or 5. I can't remember which one it was. Right. And they recolorized it, so it was all in color.
Oh, it's clever, isn't it?
Unbelievable.
Clever.
What a match. And I think I said it the other week as well. All the players look like old men. Oh, well, everybody did. You know, and I was on about the two brothers. Who were the two brothers now? Bobby Charlton and Jack Charlton.
Geordie lads.
Yeah, when you saw them on the 1966 World Cup playing, you'd have thought it was 1986 because it's looked the same.
Yeah,
What is that all about?
Yeah, but back in the day, they did look old for their age. I mean, my granddad died at 55, and people were saying, "Bye, he had a good life." Grand old age of 55.
55.
And it was like, now 55's nothing. I know. As each year goes on, each decade goes on, each decade lasts longer, if you like. The age, you know, for passing away is getting later and later. You know, we're getting more 100-year-old people every year.
Yeah, we are. Yeah.
But back in that day, you'd had a good crack at it if you reached 60.
Well, you know, I mean, I was going to say it's a good book, but the book says 70.
Yeah.
You know, that was your life, was 70. If you hit that, well, you were impressive. Now
you did really well. But that's because we evolve, don't we? You know, we evolve, we learn things, and we know what's not good for you and what's good for you.
Plus, we get better medicine. That's what it is, isn't it?
Well, that's it. Well, it's from education. It's from education. and learning what damage can do to you, and everything's advancing, especially in medication. There's treatment available now that had just wiped you out years ago, and now you can live an happy life on medication. It's a bit down and it's a bit down and miserable. This book.
Tell you what, you don't have to live a happy life on medication, do you? But that's another story, isn't it? Really?
Yeah. So that was TV. It didn't matter to us. There were no way that we'd sit with telly on all day.
No, well, it didn't go all day, so you couldn't.
No, all you got was that bloody silly little lass with teddy bear or whatever it was on test screen.
Yeah, that test card.
That's it, test card.
And then you get some bloke coming in to fiddle with all the insides to get when colour came out to get that test card colour looking properly. And
aye.
Because
that was another thing, wasn't it? Colour telly, that was a bloody amazing when that come out, because nobody had one.
No.
I mean, I remember getting married and my first TV I paid 10 quid for. It was a black and white one. It wasn't new, and there were big bloody buttons. And every time you turned it off, you could hear it.
Yeah.
So when wife went to bed, she said, "Stop turning that bloody telly over." Now they don't even get off the backside, do they?
No, they don't. Well, you don't have to, do you? Because all these little buttony things.
Yeah.
The only trouble with them, of course, is you've got about 6 of them for different things. You get mixed up on which button you've just pressed.
Yeah. Well, there's that much choice today. It's unreal, isn't it? So, I've got my favourite few channels, and I stick with them. I don't even try looking at others because
no, I don't. I just
they're all over the place, aren't they? They take you everywhere.
Yeah, I just watch. I don't know what boring stuff, really.
Yeah.
Half the stuff I'm watching at the moment, I've watched before.
Yes. I'm a learner, Paul. I've always been a learner. I've never been frightened of learning. My grandmother used to say to me, "Listen, Bobby, if you can learn a new word every day, you'll end up very intelligent." And that's what she used to say.
I tell you what, Bobby, you're going to end up intelligent after listening to me for a few weeks, aren't you? Because
I've learned a fair few words. I've
taught you a few that you probably haven't heard before.
Yeah, and so I've always been a learner. I'm not frightened of saying to someone, how does that work? What's that about? Some people won't say that because they'll feel cool. They'll feel foolish, as if they should know. I'm quite naive when it's like, show me how that works. I'm very interested in that. Like you say, it goes back to where I like architecture, and I look up and think, how does that work? How have they done that? I've got that inquisitive mind.
Yeah, well, we've all got inquisitive minds, haven't we? Do you know what I mean? And
yeah, but you have to use that in the right way, because there's a hell of a lot, especially today, a hell of a lot of negativity, and you can use it in the wrong way.
I tell you what, you're not joking there, because you've got huggins of it on your chat at the moment. Huggins.
Well,
so
not to worry.
Like I say, I've kept out of you. I see it, but I've kept out of it. But
it'll be sorted out. But I've always said,
well, I can tell you how to sort it out in one easy movement, Bobby. Quite honestly, and but I'll wait until we're off screen.
Yeah.
All right.
That means that, listen, folks. That means he's going to give me a bollocking.
Well, that's another coin in me fountain. That's going to fill it. But yeah, I mean, I don't know really.
Well, Levi did tell me. He says, "Be careful with Grandad." He says he don't take no prisoners.
Yeah, well, there you go. And he isn't wrong. Like I've said before, I've got a very short fuse. And Yeah, I have a very short fuse, so I do react quickly, and sometimes I regret reacting quickly, and sometimes I don't.
I don't think it's a short fuse. I don't think you get angry, but I think it's a no nonsense thing. I think you've it's not patience, and that's a short fuse. I think you've got patience, but you don't take no nonsense. It's straight away. You won't tolerate. I'm not putting up with that. That's how there's a difference between that and a short fuse.
Yeah,
You know, and I think that's more that's my opinion of you. You know, I think you don't tolerate fools easily.
I certainly don't.
And there's a difference, you know. It's that old saying, isn't it? You know, what's the word? Eight. I can't think of the words now.
Well, I tell you what, Bobby, I won't be able to think of it for you, mate, because mine will be something you can't pronounce.
You know, eight and I can't even think of the words myself, mate.
It'll come up. We can.
Aye.
I tell you what, Bobby, I'm finishing, mate. Okay.
Yeah, we're fine. I mean, we're coming up to.
I'm gonna just end the stream now. Okay.
Okay. So, well, thanks for coming on, guys.
Good nights to whoever you're going to say good night to.
Yeah, thanks for coming on, guys.
We're on nearly an hour anyway. Sorry.
Yeah, I hope no one's got upset with anything, and you know we enjoy this hour. And I'd like to thank everybody for jumping on mine and Paul's channels. So have a great week and take care, folks.
Yeah, TTM, folks. See you soon.
Bye now.
Hope you have a good night. Bye.